to the hot fixtures of.
Right, we have the hot fixtures first.
I mean, let's start with the captaincy up front because
Yeah.
it's a good week. I mean, there are three good games to target for captaincy. There's Liverpool versus Newcastle. There's Leicester versus Palace, which should not be ignored, and then there is Leeds versus United. So, Zoff, I'll throw this to you first. Where are you looking at for captaincy? I won't be surprised with your answer. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you already know, right? It has to be Salah for me.
Yep, yep. Not at all tempted by an Iheanacho punt against Crystal Palace,
E-
who are defensively.
Iheanacho, no, I am actually tempted a bit by Bruno though, because I was having a look at his stats in terms of leads. Now we're talking about them becoming a bit tighter and all that stuff, but no team has conceded more shots or shots on target over the last 6 game weeks than Leeds. In terms of big chances conceded is probably where the difference is, right? Big chances they've cut down a lot, but I don't know. The United having a whole midweek off and everything. I do think Bruno could do well as well in this fixture. It's between those two for me. I don't think Iheanacho comes into consideration.
It's worth noting that the Leeds game is at Ellen Road because the pitch is also something that's come into play. Which is if it was United at home, I'd be a lot more bullish about captaining Bruno or Greenwood. I think Greenwood is a great punt for the captaincy armband this week as well. But for me, it's Salah number one, and if you're looking to punt, I actually really like Iheanacho as a pick because just looking at some statistics as well, in the last 6 matches, on average, Crystal Palace concede three big chances a game. So that's and Iheanacho has accumulated the most number of big chances in the game in the last 6 matches. So those stats sort of are marrying, So I like that
Correct.
Iheanacho pick for
And we didn't
captaincy.
talk about the FA Cup Leicester Southampton game. In that game, it was clear that Nacho was getting all the big chances.
Exactly, and now they have Madison, right? So he's there's a lot more quality in terms of service. You have Tielemans and Madison serving, balls on the platter to put them in. So it's a good shot, Iheanacho.
Bakar, where are you on this?
Yeah, I agree. I can fully see a Nacho Hall against Palace, but I would still go with Salah. I just find him more dependable personally. But I am not against the Nacho shout at all. I can see Leicester winning that comfortably. Crystal Palace away from home are generally abysmal.
Let's talk about the Liverpool versus Newcastle game. How do you see Bruce playing this game?
That's a good question, right? I think away to Anfield, he's definitely going to revert to type. Play on the
Exactly, he's going to park it, but I think Liverpool will be good enough to win this comfortably.
by
Yeah, but
comfortably.
you'd
I
expect
still
you'd
don't think
expect that
it'll.
Palace would be a little more loosey-goosey compared to Bruce because they do have things to play for still. They do have to
Hmm.
defend and make sure they're not conceding too many goals. So that's something that might play. I am still on Salah at the moment, but I'm just thinking out loud out here. That's
No,
all.
absolutely right. When you said concede a lot of goals, I don't see Newcastle conceding more than two, for example. I see it being like, 2-0, not a 3
Yeah,
nil 4-0, something like that.
yeah, I'd go with the 2-0 as well. I expect it to be something like that.
Yeah, it's making actually this conversation is making me thinking about switch the armband from Salah to Iheanacho maybe.
Cycling back to the Arsenal Everton game, do you think there's a clean sheet here for either side? Lacazette and Oba are both out.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to play up front? I think it's going to be Martinelli
Martinelli or
up front.
Nketiah?
Yeah. Uh, uh, I don't know. I don't know how to call this game. I think actually Everton might have too much for Arsenal in this game.
Because I'm thinking
And
of buying Keane. That's why I'm asking you. It's Keane instead of Size with the whole doubles and all that thing coming up.
Yeah,
mm,
Zoff, Everton have a good fixture in 36. Is that why you're doing this?
Precisely. Good fixture in
Yeah,
36, 37, 33 is not great, but then 35, if I might want to play him, but
yeah. The Sheffield United home in 36 and then Wolves in 37. Yeah.
that's why.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good transfer. I'm sure Arsenal will score though.
That's what I
Uh,
think. Somehow or the other, Everton just seem to concede one goal all the time.
yeah, I expect it to be perhaps 1-1 or 2-1 to Arsenal.
And this is again, this is right after when is the Europa League game? The Europa League game is right after this, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
So right,
This is tomorrow night on Friday.
yeah, this is a Friday night game, correct?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So yeah, I don't think West Ham Chelsea. This is a big game. I think for
yeah,
FPL and for top four. I think
yeah. Big.
Moyes will go quite defensive in this one.
I agree. I agree.
I think he'll be quite conscious of the number of goals they've conceded, right?
I mean, but this falls into how Moyes wants Chelsea to play as well. They want Chelsea to have majority of the control. They want Chelsea to have majority of the possession because they will just look to counter. They struggled a bit against Newcastle at the top because I mentioned that they don't like to keep possession. They like to counter, and Newcastle didn't offer them space in the counter in that game. Obviously, they had brain farts in the second half of the game, but just because Moyes is going to be defensive, it doesn't mean that their threat on the counter is going to be minimal, because they like playing that sort
It's
of
like
football.
playing, but Chelsea are built to stop attacks on the counter with the way we work. Is
Correct,
basically two plays: the five at the front, five at the back. So
correct,
the
correct.
way we work, this has a feeling of a 0-0 or a 1-0 to me.
Yeah, very important game as well. So both teams will not give away too much because whoever is winning this game is in the driver's seat for that fourth spot. Because I think I'm expecting Leicester to win tonight and maybe secure third spot. So now there is only one position to
Right,
play for between.
and Liverpool are going to be playing before us, so we'll know the Liverpool
Exactly,
result in hand. We could big pressure on both these teams.
exactly, exactly.
There's just Sheffield Brighton, nothing much to talk about there. I don't really think. I'm hoping Brewster plays. I'm forced to field Brewster.
Yeah.
This is what it's come to. Now Wolves Burnley. Do you guys see a clean sheet here for either? Do you see a Wolves clean sheet?
I don't think so.
Prob-
I think Burnley are kind of still misread in the FPL community as a defensive team, and um, particularly ever since they've over the past few months, I've noticed that they're more attacking away from home, particularly. I think Wolves will concede in this game.
I don't think they'll concede. I think three at the back, the defensive underlying numbers are good.
Very good.
Boys fit again. I'm expecting it to be a 1-0 sort of template game where they do nothing in the first half and they score one goal in the second.
1-0 because Wolves like to this whole physical thing. They can deal with it. The whole physical
Yep.
style of play. I don't think they have a problem with it like many sides do. Right.
I'd go with the ball.
We're going to from next season on. We'll get the tracking done on these scores. We're too late on in the
Yeah,
season. No? Next season we'll do that.
yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of fun.
But I want you guys to send your predictions in beforehand, though,
Or else you'll accuse me of copying you.
as is the case. Leeds Burnley now. Sorry, Leeds United. What did you make of Leeds' defensive setup against Liverpool? They weren't as nowhere near as defensive as they were against City. They actually
Nope, not at all. Back to man marking, and there was lots of space for Liverpool to take advantage of. So yeah, not as defensive. That said, uh, I don't expect it to be a runaway game like how we were in the home tie. I'm expecting 2-1 either side this game. I'm not confident about United's chances either.
interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think 2-1, probably 2-1 to United. I won't be surprised if Leeds wins.
Yeah. This game is actually the best for Rashford, who's not the best long-term asset when it comes to United attackers. If I had to pinpoint one person who might do well from an attacking standpoint for United in this game, it'd be Rashford.
Because you notice this is what Liverpool were doing very deliberately, right? In Jota, the
Yeah.
ball he played to Trent. Every time
What a beautiful ball. I did not know he had that in his
I
locker.
did
What
not
a
either.
beautiful.
I pretty much thought he was pretty much a final third player. I didn't realize he had that in his locker. So that I think it's going to be good for your counter attackers. Like you said, they're just going to look to distribute that ball. Pogba is going to be playing the balls over the top.
Exactly. Exactly.
So interesting. So it's not a
2-1 either side.
2-1.
I say.
Bakar, same page?
Yep.
I think could be 3-1 United. It depends if Leeds score first, you guys will definitely score 3. If you guys score 1, then you might draw it.
Any
Score
news on
first, rather.
Rafinha? Whether he's going to be fit for this game?
I think no, there's nothing, no update yet. We'll ask
He
Ben.
was close last game, right? So it should be.
He usually posts on his Instagram when he's training. He likes posting training pictures. There've been nothing of that sort so far.
That. Villa West Brom, I think you can skip. Nothing of note in this game. Leicester versus Palace. Like I said, I won't be surprised if Leicester get 3-4 goals in this game. Pretty bullish on them in this game.
I need to recalibrate my thinking about Palace. I keep thinking Palace, Hodgson side, will not concede too many, but I don't think it's the same case anymore.
No, I agree.
You can't ignore 3 big chances a game conceding on average. I mean, that's
Yeah.
stunning stat.
I expect them to concede 3 as well.
Interesting. Maybe I should look at Iheanacho a bit more than he's not entered my captaincy. I just like my captain to have some sort of like penalties or set pieces, something like that.
I don't see. I can write it right now. I don't think you're shifting that one back from
No,
Salah.
I don't
It's very
think
unlike you. Yeah.
it's
That's not never gonna happen.
extremely
Yeah.
unlikely. I admit that.
Yeah.
Right. Anything
Yeah.
else to add here, guys? Let's just do the quick captaincy, like quick summary. Your top three in order, LR.
Oh, after this conversation, before this conversation, I was on Salah. After this conversation, I'd say Nacho one, Salah second, and Greenwood third.
Bakar.
Salah, Nacho, Bruno.
Interesting. All three of us different. For me, it's Salah, Bruno, Nacho.
Interesting.
Outside
This
those
is the
three,
first time. This is the first time we've had such. I don't think you need to look outside of these three games for the captaincy. Anybody from, like, if you want to take a punt on Vardy, go ahead and do that. If you want to take a punt on a
right?
couple of the United trackers, if you want to take a punt on Jota,
I-
do that. But
Trent
don't
is
look
not-
outside of these three games.
I don't think Trent is a bad shout either.
Yeah, Trent is a decent shout as well. Definitely.
Not for me. Newcastle's attacking numbers are very good in the past 4, 5, 6 games. I wouldn't captain Trent.
I think
I wouldn't be surprised
It
if.
also depends a bit on Phillips if he's back or not, right?
Yeah. Even if he's actually, we didn't talk about that because if Phillips isn't back, I think Nacho is quite considerably the stronger option because when they play Fabinho in midfield, they're a much stronger team. They're not half as good a team if Fabinho is playing in defense. So I think that's also a factor to look out for because if Phillips is injured, then I think I think Nacho is making an even stronger case for captaincy.
That's something to look out for sure. Right, let's do our teams.